This is the data analyst agent, the assistant API corresponding to that. This is the system prompt used for this assistant. The code interpreter is enabled here because it needs to write Python code to look at the data tables that the coding assistant returns, and then this has to generate charts and then create an executive summary. This is the coding agent used in this multi-agent system, and this is the agent which is going to use a code interpreter and then load the sales transaction and then the product master information to be used for this analysis. If you go to the data files folder here, you'll notice that both the files that we uploaded are available here. So these file IDs are important because these need to be added in the environment configuration of the app that we're going to run. So let me go back to the assistant. I forget to mention this part. Uh, this is important because this is a unique ID of this assistant ID of a data analyst agent. So if you look at the code here, um, this is the coding agent. So the ID of the assistance API is stored in the configuration, and then it is used when creating an instance of the coding agent. And likewise, we also pass in the assistant ID for the data analyst agent, and this is how the autogen assistant gets stood up. So let me show you the system prompt used for the planner. Before that, let me show you the report template. This is a generic report template which describes in natural language what is expected in this report. For example, it talks of a report title, this metadata information, and then there are various sections in the template. For example, one section is for the product sales performance by category, and then it stipulates that it should have an executive summary, and then it should contain a data table with these columns. And then it says that a bar chart also needs to be added in this particular section. So, likewise, there are two other sections with all the requirements spelled out in natural language. So let me take you to the system prompt used for the planner agent. This is the agent which is going to orchestrate the report creation process. It has all these instructions to it. It mentions how the other agents need to be invoked, how the tasks to each of these agents need to be distributed and planned, and then what kind of instructions to pass to these agents is what is mentioned here. For example, when calling the the coding agent, it actually mentions here what are the instructions that need to be passed to the agent for it to perform its job. And likewise, you have another for the data analyst as well. And then there are also detailed instructions which is required to make sure that the data that is generated or the charts that are generated, they actually conform or are based on the actual data shared with it. Okay, and there are no hallucinations in the fact that um, none of the sections the data is missing. So all those checks and balances are actually fed in as instructions here to make sure that the agents do a thorough job of what those requirements are. So when I look at the prompts for the data analyst, they're quite minimalistic because most of the instructions come from the planning agent, but there are some which are very basic and foundational, which these assistants need to honor is what is captured here. It's more about ensuring how the charts generated ought to look like. They should look professional, and the fact that they should be formatted and they should fit the width of the Word document that it will generate, etc., etc. All of that. So let me go ahead and run this. It'll take a while, probably a minute or so to complete the whole process, but let's just let it run. So at this time, the planning agent is calling out what it has planned out. It has read through the template, and I failed to show you this part where sorry, let me go back to this. See how the user is going to invoke this. Okay, I'm a user and I'm saying that I want the sales performance report to be created for the month of July 2024. So the planner takes this as an input. It applies this on the report template and then starts filling in information. Okay, so now let me get back to this. Okay, so you see that it says, hey, I think we need to create a report for the month of July, and then it has going through the template and then calling out the various sections. And now you see that it realizes that first we need to write code to extract all the data using the assistance API integration. It has, see from the template, it has picked out only those sections or those parts which the coding agent needs to focus on. For example, it needs to create the data table on the sales revenue by category and so on and so forth. And then it has actually extracted only a part of the information. Okay, and then under normal circumstances, the data analyst agent would be the next in, and then it would try to process this information. But we know that this information is not complete, so we need to have data for three tables. So based on the checks in the system prompt to the data analyst, so we are saying that hey, if you don't get all the data, you need to revert back, and then you should not start processing it. So wait for the data to be complete before you start creating the charts and tables. Okay, so that's what the data analysis doing, analyst agent is doing. So now we are waiting for some more time, and then the coding agent is creating the rest of the data as you see here. Okay, and now the data analyst gets a queue saying that hey, I think all the data tables are created. So now let me go ahead and create the charts corresponding to each of those tables, and then prepare the executive summaries too. So you notice here that the planning agent is reviewing what is coming back, and then it is passing back feedback to the data analyst agent to correct those mistakes that actually it erased when returning some information. Okay, so now let me quickly scroll through all this. So I think at some stage the data analyst agent completed its job, and the planning agent is reviewing what is created, and then it's uh, saying everything seems to be fine. Yeah, so now you see that the document also is created. Okay, so if I were to open this, let me open this in the file explorer, and this is what just got created. So like specified in the template, so you have the header, and then this is prepare the planning agent. Okay, I think the report date got missed out. Okay, so this is the graph, the first section, the data table, and then the graph corresponding to that. And this is the next region where it is comparing the sales performance across two consecutive months, July and June. So the data table corresponding to that. And the last section is where the revenue by zip code is what is captured in this pie chart. So you have a summary for each of those subsections, and then as an overarching um, analysis or performance assessment. So the agent has come back with some kind of an insight which gets captured. Okay, so this completes the demo.